we're doing the easy refrigerator method today. So the first thing you have to do is make sure that you have absolutely blemish-free vegetables. So right in this pot here, I have some carrots that I only want to cook for about 1 minute. So you get a selection of different vegetables that you like for your jardiniere, and you put them in boiling water for about a minute. This is going to set the color of the vegetable, and it's also going to kill any bacteria that is there. So you see how this goes. You take the vegetables out of the boiling water, and you do every vegetable that you want to put up separately. So here are my carrots. And when I take them out, I like to put them in cold water with ice so that this will cool the vegetables down. This is something called shocking the vegetables. And you know that if you ever look at really green vegetables when you're having them in a restaurant and you wonder, well, how do they stay so green? They stay green because of this process of shocking the vegetables in ice water. So after you do that, you let them sit in that ice water for about, 50 seconds to a minute. And then you take them out and you want to dry them off a bit. So you want to have a towel handy. So remember, you're doing each vegetable that you want to do separately. So you dry them off because now you're going to put them in a jar with a brine solution of vinegar and water. So here are my carrots. And on this tray, I've already done this same procedure to these vegetables. I have some cipolline onions. These are Italian onions. They're little flat onions, and they're wonderful in a jardiniere. And of course, peppers, different colored peppers, also make a nice attractive jar full of vegetables. And then we have some cauliflower, but you could use broccoli if you wanted to. You could do green beans, snap beans. And here we have some broccoli rabe. So those are the vegetables that are going to go into my jardiniere. And we're going to add some garlic to this later and some herbs. Here we have some spices that are good for pickling vegetables. We've got some peppercorns here, whole black peppercorns. We've got some mustard seed. We've got some oregano, allspice, fennel, cloves, salt, coarse salt, and garlic. And we've got some fresh, this is tarragon, but you could use parsley or basil, whatever you'd like. And if you really want to get a good flavor out of those spices, you could toast them first in a dry skillet. So I'm going to mix all these together so that I have a mixture to put into my jars. Now this is the critical part of this. Besides those blemish-free vegetables, you absolutely must have new sterilized jars. So I'm just going to mix up my pickling spices, just like that. See how easy that is? And here are my jars, all sterilized. And you can do as few or as many jars as you want to. So you put some of the spice in each of the jars, just like that. Now, I told you this is not going to be a long type process of pickling because these are going to go in the refrigerator. So I can add garlic. So I'm going to put a garlic clove in each jar. And because I like tarragon, I'm going to put a little tarragon in each one. Now I can start building the jars with my vegetables that I'm going to pickle. So this is the fun part because you can make a little garden in a jar. So you start putting in the vegetables that you like. And I remember as a kid doing this with my grandmother in the basement kitchen. We always had two kitchens in our house, the upstairs kitchen where you did the neater types of cooking, and then the basement kitchen, where you did all of kind of the grunt work type of cleaning and skinning peaches and onions and that kind of thing. So I'm putting a variety of these vegetables in my jar. Isn't that pretty? I think it looks beautiful. Let me put in a few more peppers. And then, after you do this, you want to have ready some white vinegar and water that you've got sugar and salt in. So don't put too many into crowd because now you have to put that pickling marinade into the jars. So after you do that, I think that's about enough for these two. You get over your water and vinegar and sugar and salt mixture. And then you get yourself a ladle and you start filling these jars, you see? And this can be a little messy. And if you have a full pan of the vinegar solution, you want to do this with a ladle, because if you try to pick up the pan, you're going to make a mess all over. But the important thing here is that you fill the jar completely with this mixture. You want to leave about a 1/4 of an inch at the top, but you want to make sure that the vegetables are all submerged under the vinegar. And then you cap this, you put it in the refrigerator, and you let it sit there for about a week. So there, that's how it goes. And then you cap it, you shake it, and you have a beautiful jardiniere. And that is a garden in a jar.